Jack Dorsey reacts to Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter. So he responds, Elon's goal of creating a platform that is maximally trusted and broadly inclusive is the right one. This is also Paraga's goal and why I choose him. Thank you both for getting the company out of an impossible situation. This is the right path. I believe it with all my heart. I'm so happy Twitter will continue to serve the public conversation around the world and into the stars. So this sounds like a man that has accepted defeat. I don't know if I want to call it defeat, but he did go on to explain how Twitter, he doesn't believe anyone should own Twitter, da-di-da-di-da-di-da. And that kind of speaks to what I was saying earlier. It makes sense that he had reduced his shares to 2.4%. And now my issue with Elon Musk, and I've seen a few other articles talk about this, that Elon Musk taking over Twitter would be the end of Black Twitter. And if you guys don't know, Black Twitter is sort of this, community on Twitter of Black people that push the conversation, that actually make the app popular because Black people are more active. Black people make platforms cool. Black people are more active on social media and make these conversations cool. Not just Black. Another subsector of Black Twitter is Nigerian Twitter, or maybe it's its own thing completely, and that's also another popular part of Twitter. But here's the thing that people are afraid of, because Elon Musk is claiming that he's going to promote freedom of speech, he's going to promote all these things. But when we think about the way that he's run his company Tesla, and the racism that his staff have experienced and his negligence towards that, well, how accountable is he really going to be when it comes to pushing the conversation and being inclusive with Twitter and letting everyone have a conversation? I'll give you an example. There have been several cases, one man being awarded $1 million, another man being awarded upwards of $100 and something million, for the racism that they've experienced working at Tesla.
Well, I realized that when I looked around at a lot of the managers, a lot of them weren't Black. There's a bunch of Black people working here. How come they're not promoting anybody? So that was the first question I asked him, and I was like, "How long have you been here?" He was there for years and never been promoted. Matter of fact, people that he trained jumped him and became the position he wanted to have. So at that point, I was like, okay, that's not right. And then the use of the N-word was used a lot on my line. So when I started hearing that, it kind of made me feel like I don't want to be here like that, but I need to be here because of the money. My friend Tim Cotton basically brought it up in stand-up, like, hey, we're tired of being called the N-word. People were laughing and snickering like it was funny, and I'm like, hey, this is not funny. But things just got way worse. Tim actually got hit in the back of the head with a chair inside the Model X, and then the dude called him the N-word then. They ended up moving that manager down. They brought a new manager. She didn't care what was going on. She told me she didn't care. Like her job was to make sure cars got out. She told me to just, do my job. After I started speaking about what was going on the line, they started having me in awkward positions. On the Model S, you had to put the carpet in, and I'm like 6 feet tall. That job's for like a 5'7" dude. So I ended up hurting my back. And when I told them I hurt my back, they didn't care. They had me just keep working. They ramped up the line to move a little bit faster. So I ended up like tweaking my back and being out for a couple of days and just start going downhill from there. At a certain point in time, it just starts draining on your mental, and you start stressing about things and it just starts wearing on you.
And here's the thing. One of the guys even contacted Elon Musk to get, just because he tried everything, right? And then he tried to contact Elon Musk to complain, and then he got fired.
You have access to Elon Musk's direct email. I tried with my manager, I talked to HR, nothing was getting done, so I felt like I had to speak to him. I just wrote him a letter, what was going on, explaining what was going on, how I was feeling, how people online were feeling, and I never heard nothing back. I just ended up losing my job. When I wrote Elon Musk a letter explaining what was going on the line, I never heard back from him, but what was weird was my manager came up to me and was like, if you see a ball on fire rolling down the hill, you might want to move out the way. I just felt at the time when I saw that, like how bad of a person he was for saying that. After my complaints numerous times, then they brought HR down. Then I talked to HR about what was going on online. They made it seem like everything was going to be okay, but probably a few weeks after that, I ended up getting let go for no reason. I got let go for not having a positive attitude.
When I got fired, the first thing that went through my mind when I was getting fired was, what did I do wrong? I never missed a day. I worked hard on the line. I even found issues with different things on the car, and I won awards at Tesla. You get fired at Tesla, people that have to take the shuttle bus, they're not able to use it anymore once they get fired. But I was not allowed to get any type of help. I had to figure out my own way back home. This is the way I walked to get back to the BART station. I think they wanted me to make this walk of shame. They wanted to make a statement of, this is what happens when you try to stand up for something that you believe in or something that's wrong at the factory.
Typically, the kind of conduct we've been hearing about is widespread use of the N-word. We have over 100 declarations from people, black workers, who have complained about that to us. As every employer, Tesla has an obligation, once they hear about harassment, to take affirmative steps to stop the harassment and to ensure that any future harassment does not occur.
After Tesla, it was hard for me to find a job that could pay my bills. When you're not able to provide for your family, as a man, you just feel like you're failing. And to get letters on your door from the property manager that you might get evicted, it was hard being homeless for 6 months.
And Tesla continue to suppress people, silence people's voices. Now, and these people have lost their jobs and they've lost all these things. Yes, they should win $100 and something million. They deserve more than that, because they're the backbone of your company. They're the ones building your cars. They're the ones supporting you, and you treat them like trash and you disregard them and then you silence them. Now, do we really think that Twitter is not going to do that to black people? Because social media already does that, silence black voices, especially black people that talk about black issues. Do you really think that Elon Musk is the best person in this case? And is he really going to promote freedom of speech? I don't know. But either way, it's his company, it's his business. And so the conversation is not about whether he should or shouldn't take over Twitter. That's his complete business. Black people need to create our own platforms and make our platforms popular. I have a fan base account. You guys should follow me on fan base. Black owned, has a decent following on there. And at least, guys, let's make our own platforms popular instead of going to white people's platforms where they'll just silence us and try and kick us out and do whatever they want to do. We are the ones that make their platforms cool, so we should just create our own platforms. Not much else to say. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time. Peace.